Good afternoon, Florence. Another exciting Saturday afternoon. As usual, Saturday is always a sporty day. We are coming to you live from the Stima Club, just around Ruaraka, just again next to KCB's rugby playing field. I understand that Rupenda is giving them a chance of retaining the Kenya Cup. But again, for me also, I'm thinking that KCB will continue with the impressive run against Kabra Sugar. Before we even talk about the football stuff that is going to happen today, our Githurai All-Stars will be hosting Team Umeme in a Super 8 Week 11 encounter. On a matter rugby, Florence, well, odds favor Cabras in terms of on the paper, but again in terms of the historic encounter that the two teams have had in 9 matches, KCB have been successful in 8 of them, and I think Openda is right to say that KCB might win it. Remember, it's the only Lion, or is the only rugby team that has successfully been able to record wins in Kakamega. Well, for the match that is going to happen at the Stima Club, will be a Week 11 encounter, Super 8 Premier League. Remember, it's the grassroots football league in the country. And it'll be an interesting match to see the number 2, or rather the team that is ranked second in the log, that is Githurai All-Stars. They're the newbies in this league, taking on regulars, or rather a team that has been in the Super 8 for several seasons, that is Team Umeme from Ziwani. Will be, again, maybe the interesting part is that both teams are locked in 15 points, though Githurai All-Stars have a superior goal difference. That's why they're sitting in at the second position. But again, Florence, if you look at the Super 8 Premier League, the 2018-2019 season, it's so impressive and it's so tight that between only Jericho All-Stars is probably the only team that we might say has been able to open a 10-point gap, meaning that they are having an impressive run all through the season. But all the other teams are tied on, because if you see the second team, from the team that is ranked second, that is Githurai, to the team that is ranked in the 5th position, all of them have 15 points. But again, even the teams below them, they have similar points, that is 13 points. And you see a situation where most of the teams are separated by maybe 1 point or 2 points, meaning it's a very competitive grassroots league encounter. And I will be following through also a different encounter. I understand we have 8 matches that will be staged in different locations around the Nairobi County. We'll be keeping up to date with the latest development from the Stima clubs, and of course be able to stage, or rather organize, have interesting conversation from both sides, that is Team Umeme and Githurai All-Stars. Githurai All-Stars have been so impressive, though again they have been stagnating, or rather they have not been registering impressive results. I've been following up a few conversations even coming from some of the fans. They are not happy that a team has been recording home draws against some teams that have been struggling, the likes of Tuk FC, who have been struggling. They were able to hold them in a draw. Last weekend they were again held at home by Lebanon, away at the Ziwani ground by Lebanon. So this we are, the fans also will be keen to follow up and see whether their team can be able to record an impressive win. Remember, on the start of the league, they were able to start off with impressive results, 4-0 wins, 4-1 wins, and they were even able, so far, no one has successfully been able to beat them. So we'll be keen to follow up and see whether, even with the absence of the likes of their best players, the likes of Stano out of the squad, whether they can be able to record a win at home. There's a conversation that we'll be following up and being able to prepare for you, as well as to talk with some of the officials from both teams, and just have an insight of how different the Super 8 Premier League is being run compared to the top tier league, or other leagues that are run even by the Football Kenya Federation. Remember, we have had issues in the past where teams are the likes of Mount Kenya United are giving walkovers, and even in the Women Premier League last weekend we saw a situation where the matches, we were not even sure whether the matches would be staged. But for now, it's back to you, Florence, in studio.
Well, I'll still want to talk to Peter Pinches Maora, because we want to actually talk about the selection of the Harambee Stars, the AFCON-bound team. If Peter Pinches Maora can still stick with us, kidogo to tell me, Peter Pinches Maora, what is your thought? A lot of guys are making a lot of noise because Were has been left out, and you actually read or heard what Coach Minye had to say about that particular issue. The likes of Church will not be there, but also people are like, where is Saruni? Why do we have 2 goalkeepers from the same team? Do you share the same complaints, Peter Maora?
Sorry, Florence, I didn't get your question. Maybe you can repeat it for me, probably.
I can actually do that for you. Can you hear me clearly? Actually, I wanted to ask you about the Harambee Stars selection. Do you agree with it, or are you complaining like the rest?
Well, I think for me, it's a good combination for us, for the team. Again, remember, most of it being comprising of players who did the job in terms of making sure that Kenya secure the qualification to the AFCON. Of course, a few inclusion, the likes of Christopher Bamba coming in, and they have been so impressive in Sweden. Well, there have been a concern about, I know I even read an article earlier today about the goalkeeping section, but I think for me, the squad is well, and I think we have the best players. I know they are also concerned about the likes of Jesse Welle being omitted, but again, it's been a competitive one, and it's good to note that let's give Sebastian Migne a chance to select the best, and then so that at the end of the day, when we are about to question the team's performance, we can question it basing on what the coach selected, but not what we influence the coach to select. So for me, I feel we are good to go, and it's a good squad. We'll be following up to see the training process and see whether at the end of the day, it's a professional squad. So some of these players might not be able to make it to Egypt, and some might be able to make it to Egypt. Again, there are youngsters in the squad, a lot of concern from different quarters, but I think this is the right move for Kenya. We have seen some of these young players. I'm impressed. The likes of Pinson Mutamba, they have been doing well for Sofapaka, and I think it's time we give them a chance and see what they can do. Again, we're also having friendly matches, 2 friendly matches against Gambia and Madagascar, and a training and an 11-day camp, 19-day camp in France. So this is a period to just take on some of these players, whether they are ready to represent the country in Egypt and do the country on, and maybe qualify even for the quarters or the semis.
All right. Thank you so much, Peter Pinches Maora. Pole sana for the weather.